Bet you can't guess what's up next on News 4 New York. The amazing Mets pull it off at Shea, another come-from-behind win. This time, the Mets are the world champions, and we'll have team coverage at Shea as the celebration continues in the stands and the Mets locker room.
We'll share that sweet moment of victory with fans who could not be at the game.
The Miracle Mets go all the way at Shea.
This is News 4 New York with Chuck Scarborough and Sue Simmons.
Well, good evening. The New York Mets are baseball's 1986 world champions.
Yeah, and they won the World Series tonight the way they won virtually all of their postseason games. Gutsy, heart-stopping, come-from-behind baseball. Miracle upon miracle, from the brink of defeat to a 16th inning win in Houston. Then Saturday night at Shea, down 2 runs and 2 outs and 2 strikes in the bottom of the 10th. One swing of the bat away from extinction. The Mets squeezed out 3 desperation runs to win. And tonight in Game 7 at Shea, the series tied 3-3, down 3 runs into the 6th. The Mets once again reached into their bag of miracles, and they are the 1986 world champions. Len Berman begins our team coverage. Len?
Thank you, Chuck. They called them the amazing Mets in 1969 when they last won the World Series. So what do you call these champions? They were dead and gone Saturday and came back. They looked dead in the 6th tonight, down 3-0. They came back to tie again. Call them doubly amazing. Tied 3-3 in the 7th. MVP Ray Knight with the big blow. He homered to left off Calvin Schiraldi. It broke the tie, and before the inning was out, the Mets led 6-3. And then Darryl Strawberry delivered his first home run and first RBI of the series. Shea went nuts. It was 7-5 Mets. And when Orozco got Barrett, that was it. 8-5 the final. The New York Mets prove there is life after death. And tonight, they are world champions. And please be kind to any Red Sox fan you encounter. They've been in 4 World Series since they last won with Babe Ruth in 1918. All 4 series went 7 games. They lost all 4. Doubly amazing. And I'll have a lot more later on.
They may have lost, but they gave us an awful lot of exciting baseball, too. Yeah. Hats off to the Red Sox.
I don't think I'm going to forget Wade Boggs' tears. That was heartbreaking. It all came down to this, though. Just one more win for the Mets gave them and New York City a world championship, something to brag about. News 4's Mike Taibbi and John Miller are standing by at Shea. First, let's go to Mike. Mike?
Yeah, Sue, you're looking now at the lights over the infield in Shea Stadium, the last bank of lights that's on. They will go off soon for the last time in this glorious 1986 baseball season. But the heat that those lights will generate and that the tenants of this ballpark will generate will warm the hearts of Mets fans all winter long. And that's not chauvinism, it's a statement of fact. This team was installed as the favorite last year when they were coming in second last year in the Eastern Division. In spring training, in the early part of this year when they broke out way in front, they were the favorites, they were unbeatable. But they learned, as they got into the playoffs, that it wasn't that easy. There was, as Bob Costas put it before, a crucible of a series against Houston, and then a game Red Sox team, which was battling not only the Mets, but destiny. A tragic destiny for Red Sox fans, certainly, because as we just heard from Len Berman, they had played 4 World Series, gone 7 games each time, and lost each time. A word now about the Red Sox. Anybody who knows anything about Boston knows that the fans in that town are suffering intensely right now. Not as though they haven't been prepared for it. They've been hearing the doomsayers say for days and days and days that ultimately they would find a way to lose. Saturday it seemed predestined that they might, and tonight they did. Earlier this evening, when the Red Sox were up 3-0, one of the Boston writers came by and said, "There's the bait. They're giving the bait out for the Mets." And that's certainly what happened as the Mets came roaring back. And later on, that same writer came by and said, this isn't over yet with the Mets winning 6-3. There's still going to be something that'll happen that'll make the Red Sox think that they can get ever so close. They will get that close, and they will again fall short. A Boston writer with about 25 years of experience. An extraordinary World Series, as it turned out. Games 6 and 7 were sensational baseball games in terms of tension and the ability of the Mets to come back from adversity. The Mets coming on to win this. There will be celebration tonight and for many nights to come in New York City. And in Boston, there'll be pain, but as Red Smith once said, in answer to a writer who was complaining about a loss by the home team, a child has not died. And that's the message that Bostonians will have to get used to listening to for one more winter. I'm Mike Taibbi in a darkening Shea Stadium. Let's go now to John Miller, who's outside the ball yard. John?
Well, Mike, the action has shifted out here, and indeed there will be celebration. If there are any Boston Red Sox fans, we certainly can't find them in this parking lot tonight. But what they've been saying in this crowd is it's like 1969 all over again. This is the moment they've been waiting for. As you can see, it's a rambunctious crowd. And from the outset, police were worried about this crowd. So a lot of manpower and horsepower were brought into this game. The usual complement for a baseball game is about 70 New York City police officers. But on this game, because of what you saw in the clincher where the fans took the field and tore it up, they brought in some 700 police officers, helmeted and with nightsticks. And the idea was not to ring the field this time so that the fans couldn't spill onto it. The idea was to ring the outside of the field, actually putting cops in the stands. Jokingly, the chief said, we're going to fight them high. Of course, they didn't really have to fight them at all. Ultimately, there were, I think, only one arrest for disorderly conduct. The arrests that were made tonight, which is about 5, generally had to do with people in the parking lot. Now, near the end of the game, someone threw a smoke bomb onto the field. That halted the game briefly. No one was arrested for that act, but it was something less spectacular than the recent parachuting we saw. So finally, when the game did end, the police department brought on some 80 cops on horseback. 80 cops on horseback. And while a couple of stragglers managed to get on the field, those cops on horseback, by the way, the tab for that has been picked up by the Mets, did manage to ring the field and cause enough of a visual deterrent, along with the cops who were in the stands, so that they were able to keep the field, not to the point just that the fans didn't take the field, but to the point that the Mets actually came back to the field after the fans started to leave and were able to drink champagne on the mound. So they had their own private celebration. But to talk about this crowd here, they're pretty excited and they're happy. What do you guys say?
All right, the Mets are fantastic! Yeah!
Well, there you go. The scene at Shea Stadium, and obviously a very happy crowd for their miracle makers. Back to you.
Of course, we have more. Tomorrow, News 4 will have live team coverage of the huge ticker tape parade for the world champion Mets beginning at noon. More after this.
Continuing the Mets story. Tonight, it's champagne for the champions, a celebration certainly suited for the world's best baseball team, and that indeed they proved tonight. Sal Marchiano is in the locker room right now, the Mets locker room, of course, and we're going to go to him. Sal?
Thank you, Chuck, and we're in the midst of a party here in the Mets clubhouse. Gary Carter is with me. An obvious question has to be, you're down 3-0, 1 hit until the 6th, and this team put it together with the rally.
Well, we really did, Sal, and that's the way it was all year for us. We just never died as a team. We had our backs up against the wall, if you remember, against Houston, and we came back in that ball game. Here we were down 2 games to nothing. We did the inevitable, went into Boston, won 2 out of 3 there, and now we're here, and we're the world champions. We're enjoying it. We're celebrating, and that's really what it's all about.
We may not get Ray Knight on the air here, but I understand he's been named most valuable player, and that is an incredible story unto itself.
Yes, it is, and the comeback player of the year as well. Ray had a fantastic year for us, a great series, and everybody played such a large part of this series. And as far as I'm concerned, we're all MVPs because we just did it all together, and that's what it's all about. We're the world champions, and that's really all that matters.
Congratulations. See you at the parade tomorrow,
right,
Gary. With me is Roger Mcdowell, who gets the win in relief, even though you watched the game on the bench.
Yeah, I'll take it any way I can get it. You know, Jesse comes in and does a fantastic job, and shoot, I screwed away with the win, but we'll take it because we just won in the end. That's all that matters.
Okay, thanks very much.
Okay.
Congratulations. Okay, we'll have more from the clubhouse. One more, Lee Mazzilli. Another great story. Lee Mazzilli, picked up by the Mets in early August, went down to the minors so he could stay in the organization, was brought up in the World Series in Game 6. He comes through with a pinch hit single. Tonight he started the big rally with a pinch hit single in the 6th inning.
Well, I might have started it, Sal, but I'll tell you what, 23 other guys finished that rally for us, and we did it as a team. That's it.
I think Brooklyn exploded when you got your pinch single tonight.
I think 55,000 people in the stadium exploded. But anytime you can contribute to a team that's going to be the champions of the world, it is so gratifying, and it is unbelievable. And for me, it's just like a Cinderella story, and I got the glass slipper right now. That's it. It can't be any better.
And drink that champagne from the glass slipper, too. Congratulations.
Thanks,
okay.
guys.
All right, we'll have more from the Mets clubhouse. Let's get back to the studio.
We are going to chat a little more about the Mets this evening, and to kick things off, we have Len Berman here. Marv is out on the field. He was in the opposing locker room this evening, as I believe.
Yes, he was. Okay, we have Sal in the Mets locker room, and within 1 strike of being eliminated Saturday night, they are champions of the baseball world tonight. Somewhere in baseball heaven, Casey Stengel just whispered the word, amazing. The roof nearly caved in on the Mets in Game 7 today at Shea. Back-to-back homers for Boston in the second off Darling. Evans, then Gedman. Gedman's went off Strawberry's glove and over the wall. But down 3-0 in the sixth. Keith Hernandez with the big hit off Bruce Hurst. A 2-run single. Carter followed with a single. And it was tied 3-3. And the bottom of the seventh inning, series MVP Ray Knight, very nearly the GOAT Saturday night, hit the big home run off Calvin Schiraldi. 4-3 Mets. Then 6-3 through 7. And then it was time to call in the cavalry as Boston scored 2 runs. But in the 8th inning, Darryl Strawberry broke out of his Shea Stadium funk. He crushed a towering homer to make it 7-5. Final of 8-5. Orozco got Barrett, and the celebration was on. Let's go to Sal Marchiano, standing by in the Mets locker room. Sal.
Okay, we're in the Mets locker room, and Ray Knight's getting a champagne bath, and so is Keith Hernandez. First, Ray Knight, the MVP. You came back from the depths of a key era, and you end up being the most valuable player.
Well, Sal, this game's ups and downs. It's a game of redeeming features, as I've said so many times. Just glad to get that opportunity to be up there.
You have your own personal hairdresser here.
Yeah, my buddy here, my best buddy. But the whole thing is, in this game you're going to make errors and you're going to fail. You just don't want to cost your team, your teammates and everything. I'm just elated. I don't want to hear anything about that error, though. I've heard enough of that.
Keith, maybe he doesn't want to talk about himself, but tell me what the Mets think of Ray Knight.
Hey, let me tell you, Ray, is a lot of guys have gotten a lot of publicity about being leaders on this team. And I'm speaking from the heart. Okay, Ray and I got so close this year, and we didn't last year because Ray had such a difficult season. And, when you're having a bad season and you're wondering whether because of Ray's injuries, and Ray can always hit. I played against Ray in AAA, and Ray had known each other for years, since '74. And just have Ray get the MVP. And really, Ray is the deserving MVP. He got the gutty hits for us and deep in the count behind. But getting back to his leadership, I tend to get most of the press for leadership. But Ray is the unsung hero of this club. Ray's a very giving person, and I honestly feel that Ray gives more to this team than I do. I give myself to this team, but Ray gives himself more than anybody this team, helping the young kids with advice, and it couldn't have happened to a finer man. He's my pallbearer when I die. He's going to outlive me, I know that.
On that happy note, we leave the Mets clubhouse. Congratulations. Now back to the studio.
Think they'll get any sleep tonight? Oh, by the way, the football game in the Meadowlands, the Giants lead Washington, hoping to tie for first 27-20 very late in the game. And finally, we have all been through an emotional roller coaster the last 10 days. A review. Game 1 at Shea. A Tim Tuefel error. And Boston won Game 1, 1-0. Game 2, reliable Keith Hernandez with the error. The Mets threw away 2 games. But in Boston for Game 3, Lenny Dykstra got them going. The Red Sox defense faltered this time, and the Mets were alive. The Boston bubble also burst in Game 4. The agony of another loss, 4 straight home losses in this World Series. It was all even, 2 games apiece. The shaky defense continued in Game 5, another Red Sox win. And if you happen to drop in for Game 6, you saw a classic as the Mets were given a second life and the series was tied. Tonight, the picture tells the story. Wade Boggs, while the Mets celebrated on the mound. Turned out to be quite a World Series after all. Of course, we'll have a lot more tonight and tomorrow, and on we go.
All righty, then.
Hey, so that was nice. Battery died.
Her battery died. Let's go back to Sal.
Yeah, let me get one sip.
We're back in the Mets clubhouse. Bobby Ojeda, Kevin Mitchell, and Tim Tuefel, who was classy enough to come on after his big goof in the first game, but now he's a world champion.
I'm the world champion, and the whole team is, and we're all very excited about it. Whatever happened to the first game's all behind us.
Okay. Bobby Ojeda,
You ain't no.
It's Bobby Ojeda.
See, it don't hurt me. See, I have
Somebody left. Even the police car's been dented a little bit. Everything has been trampled on just a little bit. You know, it's kind of funny. Fans keep coming up to me and saying, well, you know, I was waving at the camera. When am I going to be on, 5 or 6? And I said, you know, no, you were on live right now. Then they sort of think, oh, well, whoever knows I was taking a long lunch break or I was sipping school, they're going to find out about it. But, you know, this is about as close as you can get to a New York national holiday. Last night when all the Mets were on top of each other at the last out, it looked like they were going to hug each other to death. And now today, New York has sort of hugged the Mets to death, or at least as close as they can get. It reminds me of something Ron Luciano, that famous umpire, said once. He said, you know, at the end of a game, he just wanted to say, come on, guys, let's play one more inning. It's just so much fun. He didn't want it to end. He said to the players, just thank you for letting me be a part of it all. And I think that's how we all...
Crowds of people at this time, though. These people not waiting to see the Mets, waiting for a chance to try to be on television. Excuse me, everybody. I need to get through here for just a moment. The story still continues to be the cleanup down here. The sanitation workers working very hard. They moved so quickly to clean up down here that we already had to remove our live camera position because they were coming through with the trucks and we didn't want to get any cables cut, so we moved around. As a reporter who sometimes had difficulty finding that.
All right, there, the World Series, the symbol of the World Series. Oh, what memories that has.
John, we might want to explain that all of the television stations that are carrying this broadcast are experiencing an audio problem, and that's one of the reasons why we're not able to pick up Mayor Koch right now. And we want to thank you for bringing us all the details of the story. We're going to continue with JJ for a short while. Because everybody has been waiting, naturally, for the players to come out, for the Mets to be seen and to be heard, and that's why we'll continue to stay with you, John, but we wanted to explain the audio problem.
Right, okay, thank you very much, Ernie. As you well know, it's very hard for me to hear. Davey Johnson, the manager of the Mets now, has gone to the podium. He is now thanking the crowd, and he says he's going to be here the same time next year.
It's really a great thrill to be here today, and obviously after all we've accomplished. The only thing I really want to say is you're looking at 24 of the most wonderful men that I've ever been associated with. In 16 years of professional baseball, I've never seen... I thought there was going to be a flood here. I've never seen a group of guys that give everything they have with just great heart and great determination and never giving up. Obviously, 116 wins proves that. Thank you very much for your support. Great pitchers deserve a great catcher, and here he is, the greatest Barry Carter. Thank you, man. This was a fantastic year for the New York Mets. I know personally I'm very, very proud to be a part of this great team. And for all of your support all throughout the whole year, thank you for making a dream come true. We're now on first base, the one and only Keith Hernandez.
Your fans are great. I have to say one thing, I'll make it real short. You made the difference in game 6 and 7. Boston couldn't handle the Met fans. Thanks for your support.
The guy with the unforgettable name, Mookie Wilson.
Thank you. 1986, year of the Mets. 1987, year of the Mets. 1988, year of the Mets. Thanks for everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're coming back here next year to celebrate the same event. We're winning it again in '87. Thank you, and God bless. Number 1.
Let's take a look.
This has been a special report from Channel 2 News. We now join Capital, the program already in progress.
We got teamwork.